Okay, so now we're going to color our sunflower that we drew in our journal with a little colored pencil. And you can use twistable colored pencils or any other kind. Before we start, I'd like to show you this example. So in this example here, I'm trying to show you what happens when you color outside the lines like this. So it kind of gives a little bit messy look to your picture. And you see all these places where the yellow went outside the lines. It doesn't look quite as neat as something like this where you work hard to try to keep your pencil in the lines. Also, coloring all in one direction is a good idea. If I keep my pencil going this way the whole time, I can get a nice smooth color. But if I go like this, and then I switch it, and I go like this, then it starts to look very messy. It's always better to use go the same direction back one way, and then if it's too late, go back the other way and keep on adding like that. So those are a few tips and tricks. So we're going to start by coloring the yellow petals, and I am going much faster than I would normally go so that you get time to work on yours. And I'm starting with the flowers that are closest, the petals that are closest to the middle of the flower. Because I'm choosing the lighter yellow color for these. And I'm trying to do a pretty good job. Everybody's hand is not quite able to do it. Some people may have problems. Don't worry about it. Do your best. That's all we can expect. In the back row of petals here, I'm going to choose a little bit darker yellow, so it kind of looks like they're behind the ones that are in the front row. So I'm trying to keep my pencil as much as possible going one direction, and I'm trying as best I can to stay within the lines, and I'm starting to fill in. So now, so we don't have to watch this whole thing take shape, I'm going to start with the middle of my flower, and I see that my pencil broke. So I'm going to start coloring very lightly with this brown color because it's a little bit darker of a color than I would like. Now the nice thing about colored pencils is that you can layer them. So to make your drawing look extra special nice, you can try to find different yellows and different browns and different greens and mix them all together. So unfortunately I don't have more browns here, but some of the sunflowers show some yellow through the brown. So I am going to add some yellow. See how I color right over the brown? That's fine. That's how they mix. Try to keep your edges as neat as you can. So we're filling in the yellow and layering up some brown over it. Now you may find that it's a little darker around the edge, so you can keep your darker color layered lightly on the edge. You may find that it has a dark seed center, very small in the middle, or not as big, so you can color that. You can add your color. The more color you add to something, a lot of times the nicer it looks. Now I'm going to add a little bit of brown back here into these back row petals. Okay, so again, nobody has to color as fast as I'm coloring right now, and I definitely never color this fast on my own. So we're starting to get there. Now for extra oomph, I can kind of darken the edge here so it stands out a little bit. Okay, I'll come back to that later. Now, I have my stem. Let's not forget that. Again, I'm trying to be careful to keep my coloring within the lines, and I'm trying to keep it going one direction. One direction, and I can keep on layering it. Now, I may say that this green isn't really the color. What if you start to color and you say, that's not quite the green I like? No problem. Layer right over it and add some color to it. If you want a little bit yellow, more yellow of a green, you can add that. If you want it to be a little darker on one side for some shadow, you could make it darker on there. And you can go right back over top of this with more green to tie it all together if you want. So we're getting the colors involved in there, and We're coloring every area. As the final touch, when I'm all done, I may feel like adding some seeds into it that I could see, or just some little dots to suggest seeds. That's up to you. So you'll decide what looks best and keep right on going and you'll be great.